Welcome back everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Builds, and today we're dealing with the 1989 Nissan S Cargo. So this now has 668 horsepower, 682 pounds-feet of torque from a 2-litre turbocharged inline-4 engine, and the vehicle itself weighs 1,890 pounds, has off-road tyres, all-wheel drive and off-road suspension, and it can only 0 to 16 3.565 seconds and 0 to 106.283 seconds, going on to a top speed of 185 miles an hour. So in comparison to the B1, which is was the first of the 4 Pike cars that we've taken out in this series, this is marginally slower to 60, about 0.4 of a second slower to 100, but it has a slightly higher top speed of by 4 miles an hour. So yeah, and stat wise they're pretty much the same as well. I actually believe I still have the B1 in, yeah, so 8596 acceleration and launch, so as you can see slightly worse in that regard. 7.6 off-road capability, better off-road capability, worse braking, and as good a handling. So yeah, it could easily come down to just how I drive it, basically, whether or not this is going to be better than the B1. But yeah, still, should be fun to see what this odd looking car can do. See if the snail can really knock it out of the park. Obviously it does weigh more by just under 370 pounds, so yeah, that is obviously a fair decent chunk extra. But the big problem with this, I feel, is going to be the high centre of gravity, because obviously it's a much taller vehicle than the B1. Now granted, the suspension did not get raised all that much for it to be off-road. It's only been raised by, I think, about 0.72 of an inch, which isn't massive, but when you're already dealing with quite a narrow, tall, boxy vehicle, there is a potential that it could go on 2 wheels, which would obviously limit our control, or completely topple over, which would slow us right down, obviously. So yeah, for now we are quite stable, thankfully. Now another concern is the fact it does weigh more than the B1, so therefore the brakes are not going to be quite as effective. But considering our acceleration times are virtually similar, we are going to be doing the same kind of speed, so yeah, worse brakes but similar speeds is again not a great recipe. No sign of it wanting to roll over yet, thankfully. It still has all of the positives of the B1 in that it's small, it's very nippy, there's no real understeer. Plenty of oversteer though, but it is easily rectified. Does feel just as frantic and manic as the B1 though, even with that extra weight. At the end of the day, we have the same power, same torque from the same engine, which is not the most powerful engine in terms of horsepower that you can put in these cars. There is the 4-rotor engine you can put in, which does have more horsepower, but it has way less in the way of torque. And torque is really useful for this series because it helps, use the all-wheel drive out of the corners, basically. This gives you that better launch out of corners, which is what you really need, just to keep the speed up. all over the place there. Yeah, we're nowhere near as quick as a B1. We're far slower than that car, which is surprising given it felt reasonably quick. But yeah, 3 minutes 30.793 means that we're more than 11 seconds behind the B1, which manages 3 minutes 19.515. So yeah, that extra weight clearly did have its bad sides, quite frankly. It made the car obviously slower, as we know from the raw numbers as far as acceleration goes, but also the brakes weren't as good, and I was a little bit hesitant in certain areas of the car potentially rolling over. So yeah, that means that's one of the slowest cars that we've had on this series for quite some time. In fact, we're all the way down to 190th position. So that means we're ahead of a Ford F-150 XLT Lariat, a Sierra Cars RX-3, an Xpeng P7, Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, a Wuling Sunshine S, and a Porsche Macan LPR Rally Raid. But we're behind the likes of a Toyota Land Cruiser AT37, a 1946 Ford Super Deluxe station wagon of all things, as well as a Ferrari FXXK Evo, a Lumicraft Trick Truck, Ford Bronco from 2021, a Land Rover Defender 110X, and a GMC Vandura. So yeah, by no means quick. It's obviously not the slowest that we've had. You know, it's not a Peel Trident or a Peel 50, for instance, which both took well over 4 minutes, purely because they couldn't stop falling over for the life of them. But yeah, not particularly quick in the grand scheme of things. It is quicker than some off-road vehicles that are, you know, meant for going off-road, and you know, certainly should be more capable on a course like this. But the fact that it's behind, say, a 1940s Ford does show just how slow this car actually is. And yeah, it's not for any particular reason, I don't think. It's just because it's not got the most amount of power you can get out of a car, and neither is it the most confidence inducing vehicle either, due to its narrow high centre of gravity, and the fact that it's got a decent amount of weight to it compared to the B1 that we've already taken out. So yeah, a little bit of a shame. I was hoping it would be quicker, but unfortunately not. So yeah, we do have 2 more of the Pike cars to try out, the POW and the Figaro. So I am looking forward to seeing what they can do. I'm hoping that the Figaro is going to be the quickest of the bunch, because it does have the potential to be so. But yeah, you never know with the cars on this series. Anything that you can expect to be quick could very easily be slow. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.